Hey guys! Today we're going to make a pretty fun experience. It's going to be a ball that bounces around the frame that you can control using two sliders at the bottom. So to get started, let's find a background. I think a playground would be pretty cute. We could just drop that on in. And then we need a ball that'll bounce around the screen. And the Phenomena Graphics library has plenty of different options to use. So we'll go for the soccer ball. And that looks great. Now all that's missing are sliders. I can create those using this create menu, position it how I want. Slider 2 through 1 doesn't communicate a lot, so I'm going to say X slider, and it's going to display X speed. Down here we can customize the way we want the values to be represented, where we want it to start, minimum, maximum, and then I'm also going to adjust the style of this a little bit. The Phenomena Graphics library matches all of the colors in this palette, so typically I just stick to that. Now I can really easily copy and paste and create another slider for the Y direction. So we'll call this one Y slider and have it labeled as Y speed. And that looks perfect. Now it's just onto the code. We want this updating every frame, so I'm going to go to the on-frame event. And on each frame, I want the soccer ball's X position to change, we'll say by 1. We can look what that looks like. It's just going across the screen. I can move the sliders, but nothing's happening. So let's actually go into the ball and add 2 custom properties. The first one is going to be X velocity. Set that equal to 1. And the next one, unsurprisingly, is going to be Y velocity, and that's also going to be 1 for now. So now, instead of just incrementing by 1 on each frame, let's change that to increment by X velocity times the value of our slider. This is going to be really neat because it'll just automatically update on every frame. We have 30 frames per second, so it'll look super, super smooth. And we can take a look at that in just 1 second. Let's try it out. Oh, and you saw how the X speed increased at the end there. We do have a problem though, which is that it's flying off the screen, and that's no fun. The goal is to bounce around. So the next part of our project is going to be constraining it. This frame goes from -500 to 500 pixels on both the Y and X axes. So we just need to detect that the ball is inside of that. So let's set up a few conditional statements. Let's say if the X position is less than or equal to -500, or the X position is greater than or equal to +500. So that means, if it's outside of the bounds, let's just flip the X velocity around. It'll just have it come in the opposite direction. So that means X velocity is going to be equal to its opposite. So -1 times X velocity. We have one problem though, which is the position of the ball isn't the whole ball. It's just this one point in the middle. So we can add a local variable here. We can call that radius. And let's set radius equal to width divided by 2. Now, is this necessary? No, but it does clean up the code, and if our experience got bigger and we had more code to deal with, we'd be very, very grateful to, have a little bit of a cleaner setup here. So let's add the radii, and then we also want to do that in the Y direction, not just the X. Y position, Y velocity, and Y velocity. We can give that a spin. Oh, another error caught. These should be +500. Now if we take a look, it's bouncing beautifully, and we can adjust these sliders. We can even go all the way down to 0. 0 here, that'll completely stop the ball, or it can go crazy at 10 and just bounce around. So that's the whole project. Feel free to recreate it yourself, do some tweaking, and have fun.